What's up, you guys? I recorded this video once already. The audio was muted. Lovely. Really good stuff. So, we're back. Chapter 20, A Thief's Philosophy. It's gonna be in Nami, Luffy, Buggy's fights, as we remember. And that Gabji and Moji are unconscious. Boodle's unconscious, so it's just Luffy, Nami, Buggy. But this is going to be the end of the Buggy fight. It's also kind of the start of the closing, the Orange Town arc. Yes, but they all are like little mini arcs in a whole arc. If that makes sense. Usually there's arc. Regardless, we're ending with Buggy, my favorite top tier villain of one. No, he's a great character, and I really love him. Some great expression. So let's jump right into it. Let's head back through the chapter again. So for the cover page, we got Zoro hanging out with the panda. Panda's wearing like a sash around him, kind of like Luffy does post-time skip. And he's got two katanas on his hip and a bamboo piece in his mouth, kind of like Zoro Tantori style. Wearing Zoro's belly warmer across the top of his head like a bandana. He's got some thick little Lennon shades on. And yeah, him and Zoro hanging out. Zoro doesn't have his belly warmer on, all that. And he's only got one sword and he's cutting down some bamboo. It looks like he's either cutting a path or cutting food. And pretty decent. Anyways, so the chapter starts off where we left off last time, and that's where Buggy was flying at Nami. He's got, you know, all three blades between his hand, flying at her with the top half. His bottom half is still over by Luffy. And he sees her with the treasure, and he's not very stoked about it. You know how we talked about how Buggy felt about treasure the chapter before. That he holds it above everything. Claim all the treasure, and all the treasure on top of the sea is. That's his. And yeah, Nami's just got this, oh crap, he noticed me. Luffy's just kind of watching, and Buggy just says, you know, since when did you think you could fool me, Nami? Like, let me send you to a painful death. And he's flying at her, he's got the knives all ready to go. And Luffy just kind of is like, looks over and sees the lower half of Buggy hanging out there. And back to Buggy, he's like, I'm not gonna give you a single thing. Nami's just running, you know, like, oh god. And Buggy just makes this horrific wide-eyed expression. He's just like, oh. And Nami's just kind of like, what's going on? And we see a little panel of Luffy. He's just punting Buggy right in the balls again. Just kicking him right where the crown jewels are, where Buggy's true and prized most possession, the truest treasure he whole treasure hold. And yeah, Luffy's got a thing for kicking Buggy in the balls, apparently. At least early on. God damn, twice. I don't think Luffy kicks anyone else. He does it twice to Buggy. Yeah, Buggy, you know, laying his top torso still feels everything else. The lower torso, yeah, he's still all feeling all. He just lands on the ground. He's just like, oh. Nami's, you know, shocked, doesn't understand what's going on. Buggy just, damn rubber boy. It's like, you dare to kick my lower half? And if he just, you know, your opponent is still me, you know, right? And Nami's like, 5. But Luffy, you know, kind of tells her, he's like, you know, probably drop that treasure. He's like, and go somewhere and hide. Like, you're just gonna keep getting chased. And kind of get a little insight into how Nami treasure. And this is true throughout the whole story, is that, you know, she doesn't believe in letting treasure go. She very seldom, like, I'm gonna give the treasure to these. I need it. Usually Nami's like, how can I screw everyone else out of the gold in this? So yeah, you know, Luffy tells her to put it down, and Nami's just like, put down the treasure? Like, I don't want to. Like, why would I leave my treasure? And Buggy's just like, your treasure? It's just starting to irritate him. And she's like, of course. You know, since I'm a pirate treasure thief, and I just stole from a pirate, I'm telling you, this is my treasure now. And Luffy's like, yeah, that makes sense. I see it all now. You know? And classic just Luffy gets explained the situation in the simplest of terms, may not be very accurate. Definitely just ties into it. Oh, of course. So obvious. And Buggy ain't having none of this. I always forget to throw these up. Yeah, Buggy ain't having none of this. He's like, what nonsense? That treasure, you know, my treasure, you think just because you steal it, it's yours now. You know? Like, how the hell were you brought up? Who raised you to think this? And, there's a huge amount of irony in that. I mean, Buggy literally goes island to island, ship to ship, taking their treasure, holding people hostage, whatever, wrecking their lives, and claiming it as his own. And now, those people's treasure, Nami just stole from him. All of a sudden, that's just his. He doesn't see the irony in it. Nami kind of points it out. She's like, a lecture from a bad guy. She's like, you know, you can stop that nonsense. She's like, you know, I don't think I've done anything bad enough to allow a pirate to actually lecture me. And she does classic Nami fashion, just sticks her tongue out at him. And Buggy's just like, you're not prepared for this, are you? And does this chop festival, and so we get Buggy Chop Festival, another one of his special moves, and Nami, you know, clutching the treasure and trying to fend off Buggy, while all of his limbs and parts just break up into like in 1/64th a piece, 64 different little, probably more, but or less, but just a bunch of his limbs are just flying around in all these different motions all over the place. Kind of hard to figure out where he's going and what he's doing. And he just starts laughing. He's, you know, see if you can protect your friend now, he's telling Luffy. Luffy's like, damn it. Like, there's gotta be some way to work around this chop fruit. This is weird, because Luffy doesn't usually spend this much time. He really talk about, like, I think Katakuri fight makes sense because it's so long. Like, he fought him for like 12 hours or something. And during that 12 hours, he's sitting there trying to understand how he fights, but he doesn't really put in a lot of words. Never really see Luffy go, gotta find some way to get around Sasuke's Rinnegan gun or something like that. Or he's like, you know, I've gotta figure out how to cancel out the chop fruit powers. Usually it's like, where do I need to hit him? Let me try this. You know, it's just really like pure instinct stuff. He doesn't really have a lot of bubbles talking about how to fight someone. He just, like, when he thinks about training how to fight someone, very simplistic. Like, bigger fist, blow up my body bigger, make myself attack faster. It's like very simplistic. It's never like oriented around circumstances, certain circumstances happening that allow him opportunity a certain way, baiting someone in, anything like that. It's just usually just like straightforward mash and brawl. For some reason, Luffy's trying to figure this out, and thankfully he is, because he looks and he notices everything that's flying around except you see Buggy's feet just pit pat, and he's still chasing after Nami, and he's kind of oblivious to Luffy figuring out the situation. So Luffy just grabs one of the feet, and he figures this is the best he can work with, and so he starts tickling it. And it's hilarious. While Luffy's tickling it, Buggy's feet, Buggy's just like running around chasing Nami, and he just starts laughing. You know, he's got this just like just like laughing so hard, tears are rolling out of his eyes, and he's just yelling like stop. And Nami's just like horrified by it. She's like, ah! Just looks back, and this guy's just laughing, lower floating top half, just chasing you, floating through the air, laughing and crying hysterically. And so Luffy's just kind of like, oh, well, that didn't work, you know? So he picks up Buggy's foot and just like mashes toes first into the ground. There's some cracks and some loud breakage going on. And Buggy's in agony because he just stubbed like all 5 of his toes at once. He's just like, ah, and just starts blowing steam out his nose. His eyes are all white. And Nami's still just like, oh, Jesus Christ. His face is so insane. If you look back and saw Buggy chasing you with his crazy faces, you would think something demented's chasing you. And Luffy, you know, still holding the foot. He's like, man, he's pretty tough. So he just like grabs and pinches a huge chunk of his foot. And Buggy's eyes are popping out. He's just like, ah! And that really sets Nami off. She's like, oh God, what is going on? And finally Buggy turns and he's like, will you stop it, you idiot? And Luffy's just like, oops. And Nami sees this as an opportunity, so he takes her treasure bag, or Buggy's treasure, takes it back and just like swings it at him with all of her force. And she's like, you're the one that's gotta stop. And it hits Buggy in the face, but he manages to slow it down and stop it. He actually catches it, said treasure. Now he's got his treasure back. And Luffy's like, oh, are going good. And so Buggy's just like, you know, the treasure's been returned. And Nami's like, red on her face. She's losing the treasure she tried so hard to steal. And she's like, you know, let it go. Buggy's like, let go? He's like, you're the one who should be letting go. And Luffy sees this, and you know, while they're distracted, he's charging up at Buggy. You see, Buggy's like, you know, it's my treasure in his hands. His chop fruit separates his hands. His hands are sinking behind Nami. They're floating back there, and so he's gonna stab her in the back with 2 knives. And Luffy just gets set up after charging up to Buggy with a kick. He's got his leg all the way back. Kicks, and right as Buggy looks up, kicks Buggy in the face into the treasure and just sends him flying. And when he's running up, he's like, you know, I just told you that your opponent is me. And then he just kicks Buggy across the dock, I guess they're fighting on. And goes to show you, Buggy is so full of himself. He just doesn't even treat Luffy like a real fight, since he thinks he's been whooping him. Really, Luffy's the only one who's really landed a lot of decisive blows. Buggy hit Luffy's hat, which is a treasure. That's pretty vital. But and got a cut on his face. That's about it. Maybe I think he got a punch or a kick, and I can't remember. Other than that, he didn't land garbage. Luffy's kicked him in the balls twice. He's punched him in the face. He's headbutted, I think, in the face. And now he just kicked him in the face. You know, Buggy's just laying in a pile of treasure, the treasure that was in the bag that just got spread everywhere. And Nami's like, my treasure! Buggy's laying there, and Luffy's, that last kick was for the village chief. So he's talking about Boodle. And Nami really, you know, she's like, respects this. She understands that, like, I've beat it to death. Let's beat it to death some more. Get my meat. Is Nami hasn't ever met a pirate quite like Luffy. And the fact that he would go so far, not only for a dog, but also for Boodle, the chief, and that he would fight for the standard civilian. I was trying to say citizen and civilian. Citizen. But for the standard citizen or civilian, however you want to say it, you don't really see a lot of pirates just stand up for the right. And Luffy, I mean, that's all it is. If he likes you, if he thinks you're a good person, he's not gonna let you drown. He's gonna fight for you, trying to do right by a lot of people. But he just wants to be free. That's all his pirate life is. Nami's really just getting insight into what kind of person Luffy is. Not even just pirate, like what kind of person he really is. And so she knows, she feels obligated because Luffy just crap out of Buggy and saved her life like 3 different times. She's like, you know, thank you. She's like, thanks to you, I'm still alive. Luffy's like, oh yeah, don't worry about it, whatever. That's how Luffy is, man. He doesn't ask for much. He just wants to do what he thinks is right. He lives by his own book. I love it. And he sees the map on the ground, the map to the Grand Line. He's like, oh yeah, the map. Like, Nami realized, she's like, you know, my treasure's everywhere. Damn it. And Luffy holds the map. He's holding it up. He's like, all right. He's like, I finally got the map to the Grand Line. And I love it because I love it. What? No. I think it's hilarious because it's like he only really realized he needed to start looking for the map like as soon as they landed on Orange Island, Orange Town. Other than that, Luffy was still like, I need to find a crew, and then I'm gonna figure out how to get to. Didn't even know about this map, and all of a sudden he's like, I finally got it. It's been such a long, arduous journey. Finally got it in a whole day. But Buggy's not done yet. Just when you thought he was out, they pull him back in. He floats up, top half again, just itself. He's like, wait, rubber boy. And Luffy's like, oh, you're still alive, cool. And Buggy's like, I'll kill you once and for all. He's like, gather up, chop parts, and he tries to pull all of his limbs back to himself. And when he does, all that comes back is his head, his hands, and his feet. No arms, no legs, no torso, no groin. Literally, he's just like a Mr. Potato Head, just a big head and like arms and legs sticking out where they can. And like he's still living, like he's connected. The rest of his limbs, they're all tied up and under old Nami's foot. Let's not call her old Nami ever again. Oh, Nami. But they're under Nami's foot. She's got them tied up. She's like, oh, you wouldn't happen to be looking for these, would you? Oh, he's like, oh, no. He's like, what the? And I don't really want to read his bubble because it just doesn't fit the character. He's like, yikes, my body parts. But I just think that's dumb. And anyways, Luffy's just busting up. He thinks it's the funniest thing. Like, he uses a whole bubble just for ha 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 ha. He's just laughing. He's got this delighted grin. I really like the picture. Full cheeks just smiling from heart to heart. And not chin to chin, not cheek to cheek, heart to heart. And he's like, oh man. He's like, thieves definitely have some cool skills. Like, leave the rest to me, Nami. I got this. Like, time for you to get lost, Buggy. Gum. He stretches back. And Buggy just, stop! Just get bazooka. He just sends him flying. And fashion a lot of these first couple guys they just get gum bazooka out of the place. After that, you get some battle axes and I think either corkscrew or it's like a mallet. Yeah, I think it's mallet. Then there's one other one I think they use. Battle axe, corkscrew, and bell. He uses the bell when he's captain, like the captain of 1,000 Plans or something. The cat dude, I don't know. He's gonna be in Surf Village. We're gonna talk about him soon enough. But yeah, no, I really dig it. It's awesome because Luffy loves that Nami, everything about it. Like most people he meets, he gets stoked about just their little personality traits, what they are. But he's stoked because she's a navigator. He thinks she's smart, and he also just likes her as a person. But then when he finds out like she's a thief, it's a trait he really respects. He sees how sly and like conniving she, even though she uses a lot of that against him, he really digs it. But that does it. Buggy is out of here. That's it for Buggy for the time being. We'll catch him at the end of the East Blue arc, and we'll catch him again in Impel Down. Until then, namaste then, Buggy. Namaste. But now we have not an official, but a new recruit for the Straw Hats that will be traveling with them for the time being. Nami-san. Yeah. Nami will be joining the Straw Hats from here. And so we get Luffy and Nami are gonna be in the next 2 chapters, I'd imagine. Closing up the Orange Town arc and getting ready to sail to sailing there. But I believe that's the next 2 chapters. Other than that, closing up, get to say goodbye the first couple times. It'll be kind of like when they left the green base where they fought Axe Head Morgan. Town thanks. Says goodbye. It'll be a little longer, but start to see how they start closing little island arcs in general. But good stuff. We're gonna go meet Usopp soon. So this is chapter 20, the thief's not prophecy. What is it? How do I forget stuff? The thief's philosophy. It was something with a P. The thief's philosophy. Get on to Syrup Village. I'm gonna do probably a One Piece discussion talking about Nami and Zeus and stuff. I want to get some of that in. I think that's really interesting a lot. I was gonna talk about Silver's Rayleigh, because just touching on how early he shows up and then how relevant he is. He's such a cool character. And but Tech had just literally released a video today about that. That's not gonna happen for a while. I'm gonna wait. Not like mine gets first, but I just don't want to follow other people's trends. I will talk about them at some point, but I like to give room between. Other than chapter, we're all having different theories and or hearing similar. But yeah, no, we'll keep at it. Thank you guys. Continue watching and supporting, and we're gonna on to some streaming.